Fixed just came out, and I only know this because I can't go anywhere on the internet without seeing clips of it. So for those of you who don't know, Fixed is a movie about a dog who's gonna get neutered, and this is his last night to have a bunch of fun and whatnot. You know, the old joke. How old is this joke? From the 80s, 90s? I can't believe they really sat down and said this is an interesting plot, because it's not. And I really don't want to see that movie. But now that it's out, everyone is switching up on it, saying that like you should give it a shot. It's a good movie with lots of heart. From the clips I've seen, no, it's not. You know, when I say I like 2D animated things, I don't mean things like this. And I know people keep arguing that like, oh, adults need raunchy humor. Do we? Do we really need this? I look at some of those clips and it's like it's animated very well, but at what cost? And I can't even imagine sitting there to animate something like this. How many people have worked on this movie and not even questioned what they were making? I have to wonder who exactly is this movie for, because you can't just sit down with the family to watch the Fixed movie. Would you even sit down with your friends to watch something like this? No? Would you sit down with your grandma to watch it? I doubt it. I know there's a big name behind this movie. Gendy has done many projects that are successful, but did no one once go to him and say this is not a good idea? We should not spend the past few years making this? I'm not totally opposed to raunchy humor, but I think there's a difference between raunchy humor and just flat out disgusting presentation. And I feel like this dog movie is just that. I don't want to see his dingalings in my face. I just don't. I don't think most people do. That's why they're so against it. And to tell people that it's wrong that they're against it, or they're like a prude or something, it's like, no, maybe people just have standards, and maybe your standards are a little lower. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Just don't expect general audiences to really care to even see this film. And that hurts as an animator, because seeing how much work was put into it is just like, why was it put towards this? Why wasn't it like not put towards something that could have been good that anyone could enjoy? And not only that, the main character's kind of ugly. I don't know if that's just a nitpick, but it's hard for me to want to root for him. And obviously he has a crush on the neighborhood dog. Like, it's such a boring plot. It's like a plot you've seen a million times. And then, of course, they're gonna throw the dog show stuff in there. Of course, boring dog plot that we've seen many times, except done way worse. You know, they could have just saved a lot of time by just making a flash animation for this instead of frame by frame. I mean, that's really my beef with it. Like, why was so much talent put to something like this? And I'm not a fan of people sending hate to the animators or anyone that worked on it, but there's a reason for that hate, and it's, you know, society has certain standards, and this is just not what we want to see. And if anything, I feel like this is gonna make people hate 2D animation even more, when it's like, oh, what can I watch that's 2D animated? Oh, this dog ball movie. Okay. And like, I've seen Sausage Party before, and I regret watching that. It's just kind of like it's just disgusting for just disgusting's sake. And I'm sick of media like that. So maybe I'm just a prude. I don't know. Thank goodness this never went to theaters or anything. It's just on Netflix. But I feel bad for any parents that like have kids that turn this movie on. That would be crazy. And you know, one of the clips that I saw of this movie is awful. Like, the dog is getting assaulted on the other dog. Who wrote this? Why would this be funny or entertaining? Like, unless you're kind of strange. And what this reminds me of is I went to a animation type conference when I was doing animation at BYU. and they were headlining that Spies in Disguise movie, where Will Smith, he turns into a bird because of course, we can't have black people in movies. They have to turn into animals. That's a separate issue. But they so this conference, they played that trailer, and the audience like didn't even know how to react, but they were like so proud of what they came up with for that movie. Fixed is reminding me of that. Because I read a comment where before the movie came out, they were, doing trailers for it. And it was kind of like the same thing where it's like an animation conference and they show, what they're working on. And when they show the trailer for that movie, like the crowd didn't really know how to react and they were kind of quiet. Because they're like, this is what we're getting. This is what we're doing now. I have a hard time understanding like what kind of audience would even enjoy a movie like this, because it can't be that big of an audience that's want to see dogs and sexual humor. Like that's a pretty niche idea, and the people that keep saying like, oh, you need to apologize to this movie and give it a chance, like, no, I don't want to see doggy schlong on my screen. I think that's pretty reasonable. But also the clips indicated to me that like the humor is childish, but the movie is trying to be adult. So you have this weird combination. And this happens a lot in shows today, I feel like, where they're like, oh, this show is for adults. But the writing is so childish that only children can like it. But children can't like it because the adult writing is like making it cringe to a child. Like, you know what I mean? With the character designs, I'm sure the animators had fun animating it. I'm seeing like a few different like walk cycles and stuff like that, and it looks pretty fun to draw. Did it have to be this plot? It could have been something else. This is the type of movie that you watch once and then you forget, or it's like 10 years in the future and then some kid finds this in the discount rack and they're like, what is this? And they put it on, and then they think they're cool because they're watching like some adult film. This is like an adult film for a teenager that thinks they're an adult. It's that kind of humor. I hate that stuff. Also from the clips I've seen, the dogs kind of act more human-like, and I think that's what makes me cringe even more. Because I don't wanna see dogs acting like human horniness. Like, that's just strange. Is it weird that I think that that's really strange? Just because something is beautifully animated doesn't mean it's good. If you polish a turd, it's still a turd. I think some of the best things in life are things that you can share with anyone. Like your friends, your family. I think your friends and family would think you were kind of strange if you shared this with them. Like, I don't know what to say. What's crazy is most sexual scenes in like TV and movie is not nearly as bad as what I was seeing in those clips. People have a threshold. We want to see engaging stories. We don't want to see junk on screen jiggling. Like, you couldn't come up with anything else? I don't understand why this movie was made. I would be embarrassed if like I put something out like this. This is actually insane. I don't think most people sit around thinking about this sexual intercourse when it comes to Naga. I don't think they think about that at all. Do they want to see it? No. That this movie could have been something else, something different, something that you could share with other people, have some good lessons or whatever. And I know everyone right now is like switching up and saying, oh, you got to see this. No. You can deliver that message and not be gross. And this movie's concept and the scenes I've seen are really gross and disturbing. And I cringe and want to look away. I'm not sure how you can even write a movie this long with a premise like that. It just feels like it would get stale and boring too. Like, who cares that he is gonna get neutered? Like, do you really care that much? I'm also like embarrassed for all the voice actors that voiced in this. Like, this is supposed to be something that's taken seriously, like a serious project, not some internet web obscure animation. It's just bizarre how this got through and this got published. Am I wrong for thinking that? And you know, Gendy's been kind of falling off lately. He made that Unicorn Warrior show, and that show was just really confusing and boring. So then he comes out with this dog movie, and what is this? Who is this for? It's so nasty. You know, speaking of dog movies, it just makes me want to watch Bolt instead. At least that had a good plot. Or even shows like Pound Puppies or something. Like that cartoon was really cute. I just have to wonder what was going on in his head when he came up with this idea. And I know it evolved over time, but this was the end result. Out of all that work of, you know, planning the idea, this is the result. You know, sometimes it's okay to let your ideas fail and die, and you put it in the closet and you never touch it again. You delete the file a few times. Because not every idea you're gonna come up with is gonna be good. Especially one like this. You're gonna need to do like a lot of work to make it interesting and entertaining. And I don't really think they did that. And the clips I've seen are nasty. If you like this, I have to question your sanity. I wish adult humor wasn't just, oh, sex, swear, Vivzy pop humor. Like, no. This is why I stick to just family-oriented stuff, because I'm sick of the depravity in media these days. I don't want to see nasty stuff on screen, and I've been told before that makes me immature. I think that's crazy. Just because I want to have some fun, cute stories that, you know, teach good lessons and are relatable and interesting. And I don't like seeing depravity and grossness. Somehow that makes me immature. That's crazy. Like with anything, you don't have to watch the movie. I'm not watching it. You don't have to watch this video. That's being mature. Character design's great, animation great, plot, I am not watching, and I'm not sitting through that.